think people don't quite know how to manage and deal with the diagnosis of what I was given, and how do they help. And I found that quite confronting, to be honest, because a lot of people would say, oh, have you heard about this person? I have a friend that they were diagnosed with X and they survived, so you can do that. There's a lot of treatments out there now. Have you looked at this? Have you heard about this? And I found that so overwhelming that I didn't want to research anything myself. I didn't want to hear about someone else's situation. If there was someone else that was diagnosed with a GBM that survived, I want to know about that. But I didn't want to hear about someone else's cancer journey. I found that was too much for me to deal with. And I think that that's okay. I can deal with that now. But early on, I just had to block out all of that noise. I didn't want that around. And I found if people would say, have you heard about this person? They do really good treatments. Or have you investigated this clinic? Have you looked at that? I would actually say, thanks, that's great. Let such and such know, and they can research it. Or why don't you do some research on it for me and come back and tell me how that's going to help me? Because I found that if there was more things for me to try and navigate through this crazy world, it was just too overwhelming and too much. And I think people mean well. They don't do it from a bad place, but it's just a lot to take on. You're at the initial stage of your journey trying to understand what's happened to you, what does it mean, and what is my future going to look like. So sometimes it's okay to just back off. I think my nurse oncologist were very good at the Alfred Hospital, and they limited my screen time. I was probably on my phone too much because I had so many messages, and I would in the end just respond with a love heart or a thumbs up, and my sister would help me type a message if there was an update, and I would send to a select group of people, and my sister, my cousin and my best friend would send out to others, and they would filter that down the line. I felt probably pretty bad early on that I didn't answer people's phone calls. I found it too much to talk about, and I left those calls to my awesome foursome to do. And I think that was probably one of the best decisions that I could have made. It certainly made my life easier. It took me months and months to be able to chat to people. And even now, I really don't like talking about it. I find it difficult. I've done a lot of meditation, and I'll talk about that at a different time. But I didn't want to relive what was going on in my life with so many different people every day. So I chose to just not and left that to others to manage.